Your kitchen is wasting your time every single day, and you probably don't even realize it. Right now, at this very moment, your daily routine is being slowed down by poor kitchen design. But here's the exciting part. I'm Marcus from Seniors Cleaning Hacks, and I'm about to show you how to transform your kitchen into a speed machine using nothing but Post-it notes and strategic thinking. Before we dive into this game-changing organization method, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss these practical kitchen hacks. If this video helps you, I'd love if you'd give it a thumbs up and drop a comment telling me what area of your kitchen frustrates you the most. Why kitchen organization matters. Listen up, folks. Most people think their kitchen is fine the way it is. They open a cabinet, root around for what they need, then shut it again. That process repeats dozens of times every single day. Over a week, a month, a year, that's wasted motion. That's wasted energy. And if you're a senior managing a household, that's extra strain you don't need. The biggest mistake I see in nearly every kitchen is something called improper zoning. It's when items are scattered randomly throughout your space instead of being grouped by how often you actually use them. I recently worked with someone named Patricia, who had just renovated her beautiful new kitchen. But when I walked through, I spotted the classic zoning nightmare immediately. Today, I'm going to share exactly what I found and exactly how to fix it. The valuable real estate rule. Here's the core principle that changes everything. Valuable real estate. When you look at your kitchen, everything from waist level to eye level is prime real estate. This is the zone where your most used items absolutely must live. Your top drawers? Valuable. The lowest shelves of your upper cabinets? Valuable. Everything above eye level? Not valuable. Everything below waist level? Less valuable. This single concept will revolutionize how you think about kitchen storage. I'm talking about the items you use multiple times throughout the day, your everyday plates, your glasses, your cooking utensils. These things should be positioned so you walk the absolute minimum number of steps to access them. This is what I call the laziness principle. True organization is about being strategically lazy. The laziness principle explained. When Patricia was showing me around, I immediately spotted things out of place. Her spices were positioned above the sink. I asked her, "How often do you cook with spices?" She answered, "Every single day." So I responded, "Why are you sprinting across your kitchen every time you need to add paprika or cinnamon to your pot?" She laughed, but this is exactly what happens in most homes. I noticed her spatulas weren't near the stove. Her plates weren't above the dishwasher. Her everyday glasses were tucked away in a hard-to-reach location. None of this made sense from a functionality standpoint. The laziness principle works like this. Identify the task you perform most frequently in that area of your kitchen, then position everything you need right there. If you're emptying the dishwasher multiple times per week, your dishes should be stored one step away from that dishwasher. If you're cooking at the stove every day, your spices and utensils should be within arm's reach. Starting with Post-its, the planning phase. Here's what you're going to do. Grab a stack of Post-it notes and a pen. That's literally all you need. This costs nothing, and it's the most powerful planning tool available. Walk through your kitchen and think about the activities you perform most often. What are the things you touch daily? For Patricia, the top items were obvious: her everyday dishes, her glasses, her cooking utensils, her spices, and her mixing bowls. She loved cooking, so those items needed to be in positions of honor. Write each category on a separate Post-it, then physically place those Post-its in the locations where those items make the most sense. This is your visual map before you move anything. Start with the obvious. Glasses and everyday dishes should live right above the dishwasher. This makes sense because that's where they end up after being cleaned, and that's where they leave from when you need them. Patricia had her everyday dishes scattered across multiple locations. We consolidated everything. Next, think about cooking. Spatulas, wooden spoons, potato mashers, call them utensils even though they're different from cutlery. These should live right beside your stove. When you're actively cooking and you need these items, you shouldn't have to walk across the entire kitchen to find them. Patricia's utensils were spread out.
We created a dedicated utensil zone right where she stood most often. Spices come next. If you cook daily with spices, and most people do, they need valuable real estate. This means a cabinet right beside your cooking surface at eye level. Patricia had them positioned above the sink, which was completely impractical. Moving them to the cabinet right beside her stove changed her entire cooking experience. Think about mixing bowls, baking supplies, and special equipment. Patricia used her mixing bowls multiple times per week, so we dedicated premium cabinet space to these items. The rule is simple: frequent use equals premium location. And here's the thing, your kitchen probably isn't set up perfectly. Maybe you don't have a drawer right beside your stove. Maybe your dishwasher isn't positioned ideally. Maybe your cabinets are oddly shaped. That's completely fine. The posted system allows flexibility. You're making educated guesses about what will work best, and you can always adjust.
Creating zones beyond daily use items. Once you've identified your daily use items, let's talk about zones. This is where the magic really happens. A zone isn't just about storing related items together. It's about creating functional work areas that support specific activities. Think about a beverage station. If Patricia and her husband enjoy coffee or tea, why not create a dedicated area for this? Maybe it's a small drawer or a section of cabinet space where everything needed for beverages lives together. The coffee, the tea, the filters, the stirrers, the sweeteners, everything in one convenient location. A baking zone makes sense if you bake regularly. All your mixing bowls, measuring cups, baking pans, and baking ingredients in one area. When you decide to bake, you walk to one location and everything is there. A breakfast zone keeps breakfast items together: cereals, breads, spreads, plates, and bowls. When your family comes down in the morning, they find what they need without asking you a dozen questions. An entertaining zone holds special serving pieces, fancy glasses, napkins, and entertaining supplies. These items aren't used daily, so they don't need premium real estate, but when you need them, you want them grouped together. This is the fun part of organizing. You're not just moving things around randomly, you're creating a kitchen that supports your actual lifestyle. The stuff shuffle, making the physical changes. Now comes the part that feels overwhelming. This is what I call the stuff shuffle, physically moving everything around. And yes, this step is challenging. Your kitchen will look like absolute chaos for a while. This is normal. This is what I call the messy middle, and it's completely okay. You have two options for how to approach this. Option 1 is to tackle one cabinet at a time. Empty one cabinet completely, place its contents in a temporary location, then fill that cabinet with the items that belong there according to your posted plan. Then take what was originally in that cabinet and move it to the next designated space. This method takes longer but feels less chaotic overall. Option 2 is full system reorganization. You move everything simultaneously, shuffling items from zone to zone until everything lands in its correct position. This feels more overwhelming, but the kitchen reaches its finished state faster. Either way, plan your time commitment. Don't start this project 30 minutes before you need to cook dinner. Block out several hours when you can dedicate yourself completely. As you move items, apply what I call the container concept. Your entire house is a container. Your drawer is a container. Your cabinet is a container. You can only keep what physically fits. When a drawer is full, it's full. When a shelf is packed, it's packed. The container becomes the gatekeeper of clutter. This means as you reorganize, you're naturally decluttering. Patricia had way too many spatulas. We kept the ones she actually used and removed the rest. She had multiple garlic presses. We kept one and released the others. This isn't about throwing things away. It's about keeping only what serves her. Tackling the pantry strategically. The pantry deserves its own attention because it's often the biggest disaster zone. Patricia's pantry had canned goods mixed randomly with dry goods, snacks mixed with sides, rice spread across multiple shelves. It was organized chaos at best. The key to pantry organization is making every shelf a distinct category. One shelf for canned vegetables, one shelf for canned proteins, one shelf for rice and grains, one shelf for snacks, one shelf for breakfast items. When every shelf has a clear purpose, the pantry becomes intuitive. As you're organizing the pantry, here's a critical tip. Seal your bags before returning them to the cabinet. Patricia spilled rice and lentils because packages weren't properly sealed. Those loose items scattered everywhere and created a bigger mess. Take 30 seconds to roll down that bag, fold it, or use a clip. This prevents spillage and makes the pantry look cleaner longer. Consider using clear containers or organizational bins from budget-friendly stores. You don't need to spend money on fancy systems. Simple containers help you see what you have and keep items contained. This is especially useful for items like pasta, rice, and cereals. Creating functional spaces with simple tools. You don't need expensive organizing products. Patricia's beverage station came together with dollar store dividers and bins. Simple drawer organizers transformed a chaotic junk drawer into a functional space where she could find everything. I created small compartments in one drawer using basic dividers. We filled it with batteries, tape, rubber bands, and other miscellaneous items. Suddenly, that drawer became useful instead of a place where things disappeared. An entertaining drawer sounds fancy, but it's just a space dedicated to napkins, paper plates, and serving utensils. When Patricia hosts people, everything she needs is in one convenient location. The budget doesn't have to be large. Sometimes $0 is the budget. You're just moving items to better locations. Other times, a few dollars in organizing tools multiplies the effectiveness of your system.
The kitchen transformation reveal. Once everything is in place, your kitchen transforms in ways you might not expect. Patricia's everyday plates are now directly above the dishwasher. When she unloads, she stores them immediately. When she needs them, she grabs them from the closest location. Her bread, cereals, and breakfast items now live in one cabinet beside the toaster. Her morning routine got faster because everything is grouped logically. Her spices moved from above the sink to a cabinet beside her stove. She doesn't have to think about where they are anymore. They're just there when she needs them. Her mixing bowls, which she loves using, now sit in a cabinet where she can access them instantly instead of searching across the kitchen. Small daily actions became simpler. Her pots and pans moved beside the stove. When something's boiling over and she needs another pot or a lid, everything is right there. No running across the kitchen in a moment of kitchen crisis. Her food storage containers are organized with matched lids and bases. She removed the orphaned lids and unpaired bottoms that were taking up space. Everything actually fits together now. Beyond the cabinets, the complete picture. What's remarkable is how much space appears once you finish. Before, Patricia's kitchen felt cramped. After, space seemed to multiply. This happens because everything now serves a purpose and nothing is wasted on items that don't belong. The decoration choices matter too. Patricia had dozens of magnets on her refrigerator. Some people love that aesthetic, and that's wonderful. But if magnets make your eye twitch, it's okay to move them to the back of the fridge or remove them entirely. Organization is personal. Your kitchen should bring you joy. What doesn't work stays. What does work remains. Patricia decided some decorative items in certain spaces looked nice but didn't serve functionality. We relocated those items to spaces where they belong more logically. The kitchen became both functional and beautiful.
Why this system actually works. This organizational system isn't complicated, and that's exactly why it works. You're not using complicated products or following strict rules created by someone else. You're using basic logic to create a kitchen that supports your life. The most important concept is the laziness principle. The less distance between you and the items you use daily, the less energy your routine requires.
Over weeks and months, this tiny reduction in daily effort adds up to significant time savings and reduced frustration. Proper zoning prevents the cycle of organization falling apart. When items have designated locations that make logical sense, you naturally return them to those places. When someone else uses your kitchen, they can intuitively find what they need because the system makes sense. Making it personal to your kitchen. Your kitchen layout is unique. Your cooking style is unique. Your family's needs are unique. The specific zones you create should reflect your reality. If you don't bake, don't create an elaborate baking zone. If you rarely entertain, don't waste valuable real estate on an entertaining station. If you never use a particular appliance, don't store it in premium cabinet space. Walk through your typical day in your kitchen. What activities do you perform? What items do you reach for most? Build your zones around your actual behavior, not around some imaginary ideal kitchen.
The long-term impact. Here's what's remarkable about proper kitchen organization. It stays organized. Patricia's bedroom, which I organized previously, is still neat months later. When items have homes that make sense, when the system is logical rather than arbitrary, people maintain it naturally. You're not signing up for constant reorganization. You're not creating a system that requires daily maintenance. You're establishing a logical structure that supports itself because it matches how you actually use your kitchen. The power of real organization breaks the cycle. Most people organize, get frustrated when it falls apart, then reorganize. Real organization happens once, happens right, and then it sustains itself. I'm incredibly grateful to Patricia for letting me reorganize her kitchen while she was away. Her kitchen went from scattered and illogical to functional and efficient. She didn't spend money on fancy systems. She didn't follow complicated rules. She simply applied one basic principle. Put the things you use most often where you use them. You can do this in your kitchen starting today. Grab some Post-it notes, walk through your space, write down your most used items, place the Post-its where those items should go, then do the stuff shuffle. Hours later, you'll have a kitchen that works for you instead of against you. If this video helped you, please share it with someone you know who could use a more functional kitchen. Subscribe to Seniors Cleaning Hacks for more practical organization and cleaning strategies that make life easier. Leave a comment telling me what you're going to organize first, your kitchen, your pantry, or maybe a different room entirely. The best part about this system? It works, it's simple, it costs nothing, and it transforms how you move through your kitchen every single day.